The hush that fell across the internet the night Jason Lee dropped his newest podcast wasn't ordinary silence, it was the oxygen leaving the room just before a fireball. He opened with a slow smile announcers give right before naming the lottery numbers, and said he had footage that would flip the hive on its embroidered wings. The claim that Beyonce's 5-year-old twins, Sir and Rumi Carter, are both on the autism spectrum, and that one of them, Sir's, so profoundly affected he now lives in a full-time care facility far from the Carter estate. He swore he'd seen video proof. He teased discharge summaries. And he said Beyonce already tried to pay him off, dialing his phone even though they'd iced him out for years. That contradiction alone set every gossip algorithm screaming. Jason's tangled history with the Carters gave the allegation teeth. The man unlocked on Audacity, then burnished his brand by calling out a listener's clapback in real time. He'd already accidentally confirming Queen Elizabeth II's passing months before the palace announced anything, but instead of slinking away, he milked the fiasco for followers. When the briefly hired strategist, industry insiders rolled their eyes. When he quit, he then teased a tell-all livestream that never materialized. If showbiz had a court jester who thrived in chaos, Jason wore the bells, rang loudest the moment he revealed a marathon. I haven't been invited to a ROC Nation brunch. Never hit up for the gold party. Never thanked after more than once. He scoffed, yet the minute I hint at something truly explosive, my phone lights him square. His rant echoed earlier podcast moments in which he griped having people call me instead of dialing himself. Who once dismissed him as a clout chaser suddenly wondered if the man who cried scandal might actually be holding the golden scandal at last. Jason's so-called proof wasn't just a mystery Dropbox link. He draped it in text. He recounted Beyoncé's 2018 Vogue interview in which she detailed preeclampsia, emergency C-section, and a newborn's heart that studies have long debated whether severe preeclampsia can heighten autism risk. In Offspring, fans who'd skimmed that article years ago now sentence like forensic linguists. They noticed Beyonce spoke of Rumi with breezy, "I want my daughters to see themselves as CEO, sir," with a hush, "I need to shield my son from the cruelty of the internet." Those quotes, once sweet, now tasted of fear. Conspiracy threads sprouted. Users mapped every public appearance Rumi made peeking behind pink curtains at tour rehearsal, flashing a shy smile in a family yacht photo against Sir's near total absence. The ratio looked damning. Meme page side-by-side grids. Rumi framed in 5 magazine-worthy shots. Sir, a blur behind tinted SUV glass. Spot the toy wants you to see. Within hours, the hashtag "Where is Sir" trended harder than any Renaissance tour, recapped Jason. Sensing the blood scent, released an old show where he'd leaned over to whisper the craziest secret in Hollywood to a co-host while producers sleep. On the audio, he confirmed the censored phrase had been Beyonce's son is. He also confessed he'd dangled at Parkwood Entertainment, secure Kelly Rowland won on Hollywood Unlocked, or he'd air. The demand fell flat, and now he was pressing. The backlash was biblical. The hive always does swarmand became a battlefield of bee emojis, crying GIFs, and legal jargon. Fans argued that Jason was a disability for clicks, that autism isn't a scandal, that he was blackmailing a woman who built half her mental health initiatives. Others clapped back that if the claims were false, silence looked strategic rather than maternal. When rumors surfaced that the Carter Jason a cease and desist verified, but widely believed, deepened. Silence, once Beyoncé's cloak of regal myth feel like the pearl clasp on a crit. Then Solange logged onto Instagram and detonation. 2 a.m. did a photo of a small wooden table draped. in indigo cloth littered with black candles, burnt incense, and a doll made of twine. She wrote nothing. Comments by Dawn. Screenshots roared across gossip blogs. Was this witchcraft? A protective ritual? Aimed at Jason for dragging her nephew into tabloid hell. That's from Sandra Rose to the Jasmine brand. Breathless headlines about Solange's voodoo altar nearly Some fans thought the display targeted Nicki Minaj after an old rap beef. Jason insisted it was a spiritual cease and desist aimed squarely. The mythos around Solange the elevator guardian, the younger sister willing to throw hands or hexes, surged like a haunted tide. Even skeptics admitted the timing was eerie. Azealia Banks resurfaced with her own gasoline. Hipped. On X, stop hiding your son from the world, sis. Secrets age uglier, she typed. Then sprinkled her feed with snake emojis and screenshots of Blue Ivy's flourishing stage presence as a contrast. The tweet got buried under a full stream of chaos about pop stars and politicians, but Jason screen captured it and treated proof that even industry pariahs heard the same whispers. Jason's PR playbook mixed menace with martyrdom. On one hand, he painted himself as a truth-teller who'd run toward a blaze, while I'm a firefighter. I put fires out, or fan them, he bragged. On the other hand, he claimed that going public put him in danger. Commentators joked that unalived over gossip is crazy. Reminded each other that the Carters command billions and endless access. If they wanted to bury a story, the means. Jason stoked that Phase 2. An expose tying the Carters. Sudden goodwill toward him to Diddy's spiraling legal woes, he suggested the same. Gatekeepers scrambling to suppress twin rumor withhold. Dirt connecting Jay-Z to misconduct. Whether fact or flex, it framed Jason as a man with vaults of compromising footage about music's first family. Let images speak. Kissed photos from the Renaissance tour where Blue Ivy danced confidently in backup dancer formation. Fans read those images as this is my public child remains sacred. Yet each radiant blue clip in it, think piece writers compared it to the fairy tale trope of a hidden prince. His own good, but breeding dark. Speculation beyond castle walls. Psychologists went to explain why some parents of neurodivergent kids choose sensory overload with camera phones. Activists argued that demonizing families who rely on specialized care. Disability advocates to recognize that autism, full bombshell, it's a neurological profile, and exposing a minor's medical story. Still, speculation metastasized. Named Parkwood had enforced ironclad NDA, and physical therapists stepping onto Carter. Carter's environmental triggers include flash photography, bass frequencies, unexpected. These rumors bled into fan fiction threads portrayed as a warrior, queen dragons while at night. The woman who coined I woke up like internet sleuths who insisted she never sleeps at all. Secrets in a mirrors. If Beyonce's team was crafting a response, they kept testing in micro gestures, an Instagram caption about celebrating a short film played between concert acts that highlighted neurodiverse dancers, a t-shirt link on her site whose profits supported autism research. Supporters saw. Critics called it stealth damage control. Jason, sensing the counter-narrative, stakes again. He claimed to possess not only therapy session, footage, filings from a boutique medical facility outside Los Angeles that as patient requiring 24-hour specialized developmental care. Faces that the documents implicated Beyonce in outsourcing parenting. Whether any lawyer would let him content seemed doubtful, but the threat alone refreshing his channel like gamblers at a slot machine. Celeb lawyers across Hollywood whispered about potential tortious interference, defamation suits, maybe even restraining orders. But perhaps calculating that lawsuits validate a story as much as they suppress it, dared the Carters to serve him. He referred to them as a dynasty of silence. Session needed a messy plot. Twist. And then came the countdown that fried timelines year-end style. Jason set a 7-day timer on his Instagram stories, over GIF and pointer emojis. He posted cryptic song lyrics each day. Tuck goes the hive. Truth sounds off. Chorus hits. The day the counter hit 0, nothing leaked. Jason claimed unknown agents had access. Conspiracy theorists pinned Beyoncé's formidable legal squad. Skeptics rolled their eyes. You never had the footage, clown. But the narrative Jason versus Queen, high-lower, refused to die. Because now, it wasn't just about twins or autism. It was about who controls when influencers broadcast louder than press releases. Meanwhile, Solange fanned the embers with story, just a flash of flame-licking herbs on that same altar. Captioned, "Some lies beg for smoke." People and overanalyzed the candle placements, the herb bundles, the handwriting on a tiny paper talisman. Practitioners popped onto TikTok to decode the ritual. Protection spell? Binding spells on Jason's Wi-Fi. She turned comments off again and vanished. Rated minimalism. Intensifying. Blue check urged caution. Unverified medical gossip crosses ethical boundaries. But the public's appetite for messy nuance devoured every scrap. Each new day birthed fresh fan theories that Netflix Carter family because it revealed too much. Beyoncé would sit down with Oprah to preempt Jason that Jay-Z had security firms to dig through Jason's contacts. It confirmed. All of it riveting. Even academics weighed in. A Columbia sociology professor published a thread about mythology, how rumors, once airborne, warp a turbulent ultimately reach, whether proven or not. She cited the car as a textbook case, like Princess Diana rumors in the 90s or Michael Jackson in the 80s. Her payroll, further immortalizing the room tick amber as the calendar crawled. Toward late summer, HBO predicted a docuseries bidding war should footage ever surface. Jason's exclusive deals, wagering that an on-air settlement meltdown could bring Super Bowl-level numbers. Investors on whether monetizing a child's alleged counts as exploitation or journalism. Yet the biggest wildcard remained Beyoncé herself. Writers claimed she'd recorded a tear-soaked confession video months earlier. Then Shelders swore she'd never yield to blackmail and would let Jason spiral into irrelevance. Her track record suggests she prizes control above all. Lemonade's surprise drop. Homecoming's meticulously timed documentary. Even the sci-fi Ivy Park athleisure. But control is slippery, thrives on chaos, and your sister might be conjuring cosmic reinforcements, so the world waits. Scrolling, speculating, faint flutter of bees beneath the digital hive. Perhaps Jason will finally leak clips, and the visual proof will nudge the queen onto the chessboard. Perhaps Beyoncé will leave a handwritten letter on Instagram revealing everything, vulnerability, into royal decree. Perhaps Solange's altar flames will gutter out, losing oxygen. Or maybe the Carter family will ride the scandal world tours. Lights up. Boom of bass, rising from controlled pyrotechnics, until a fracture in Beyoncé's mirror reel or imagined glitters with unsettled perfection, once cracked, refracts colors no one expected. Empathy, fascination, judgment, even fear. Whether it exists almost doesn't matter anymore. The idea of it altered the cultural landscape. Parents of autism, themselves weaponized in a pop. Hans confronted their complicity in demanding flawless, and Beyoncé, long-crowned untouchable, now stands at the intersection of motherhood and myth. Her silence, heavier than any $1,000 couture. Jason relishes that weight. Every day the queen stays silent, he says, add his receipts. He's hinted at follow-up files linking the twins' alleged diagnosis to insurance write-offs for custom sensory room at property records showing a renovated clinic across county lines. If his next upload hits, it could be the digital crackle into full-blown wildfire. If it fizzles, the hive will claim victory, and Jason will pivot to the next spectacle, leaving behind a scar that never fully fades. But scars, like rumors, tell stories long after the is. So keep your notifications on. Maybe the next buzz you hear will be fire beads in a doorway of sweet grass smoke. Maybe it'll be Jason's Dropbox link finally going live. Or maybe it'll be Beyonce herself, voice calm, eyes shining, admitting that poor always ask and children, neurodivergent or not, is the only crown that. When that moment arrives, the internet or breath caught in its lungs, ready to witness whether humanity can bloom if once stood.